Hello and welcome. In this training, I'll be showing you how to design an automated Excel template that helps you track your Imprest and petty cash expense. But before we go in, let me just do a little explanation of what an Imprest is. Imprest is a fund that a business keeps for little expenditure and replenish it back to a fixed amount periodically. The impress ceiling we're going to be using in this training is 100,000, meaning that at each point in time we want to replenish, the money goes back to 100,000. The maximum amount to spend on any expense is 10,000, meaning that you can't spend on any expenses that is above 10,000. 10,000 and below is what the rule states. The balance at which the impress holder is to call for replenishment is 15,000. The imprest holder is to call for replenishment when the balance gets to 50,000 so that the money can be replenished back to its fixed amount of 100,000 before it goes very low or the imprest holder runs out of cash. In designing this template, I used the following feature: Excel table, the if function, the SUMIFS function, conditional formatting, data validation feature, the named range, formatting options. Right. So let's go and look at what we're going to be designing. Here is where you have your expense category listing, the different category of expenses our business make. So, and at this column is a formula has been inputted in. So you'll be seeing the expense, the total expense for each expense category. Yeah, currently 1,500 we've made thus far on transportation. We've made us far 6,500 on diesel and fuel. So as we keep imputing transactions, this report will be updating, right? And this section is our details of cash transaction inflow and outflow. Whenever you make expense of any sort, you input the details here. And whenever money is being replenished back to the impress holder, it puts the details will also be imputed here. So you have the cash inflow column, the cash outflow column. The two last column here are formulas, so there will be no need for you imputing anything. Automatically, it updates itself. This is the balance, and this will tell you whether the cash balance is enough so you can continue making expenses. Let's say, for instance, I impute here 45, or let me say 50,000, though just for the purpose, because we are not to make any expenses beyond 10,000, but for the purpose of this column, for you to see how it works, let me just do this. So you see, what we have now is 9,930, and we don't want to go below 15,000 before making replenishment. So it's telling you you have low cash, so you should call for replenishment, right? So this is more like an alert column and helping you to know when to call for replenishment. So if you're seeing enough cash, you're good to go. You can go ahead and continue making expenses. But immediately it pops up low cash, then it's a trigger for you to call for in order to replenish your imprest, right? So this is what I'll be showing you how to design in this training. So I'll be opening a new workbook and we'll get right into it. Follow me closely as we go. Good. Now we have a new workbook, and what I'll be doing is I'll copy the details in here. I'll copy the details in here, just the values. I'll copy it and paste here. I'll paste just the values, paste it as values. Yes, we're good to go. Then we'll also copy the details from this point and paste it just as values. Good. This is just as values. Good, we're good to go. So before we start up with working on this, I want you to know that this is in an Excel table. Excel table is a good feature you would like to use while working in Excel. And the report section, the category listing, the expense category listing and the report section is in an Excel table, because when you select it, the table design feature pops up. And the details where you capture details of cash transaction in and out is also in an Excel table. That's why when you select any of the cells here, you have this table design. And also notice that our expense category has the drop down list, and this drop down list was created based on the list we have here, right? So if you want to add more expense category, you just go down here and add it. Right. So this is just what I needed to mention before we go ahead to design the petty cash expense tracker. Right. So let's go in. We have our details here. So first of all, I'll make this, merge it and center, and we have Imprest and petty expense tracker. Good. So we have that there. And these two, let's just increase the column to the required size that we deem fit. I think this should do. Then you format this as comma separated. Good. The same thing, this is dates, so you format this as dates, short dates. Good. So we increase all the columns that needs to be increased, and increase all the columns that we need to increase. Good. So we have, this is our header. We just increase it to 14. The same thing here, we increase this to 14. No, this should be 12, not 14. This should be 12. Reduce it to, then you make this, can just merge and center, then we'll increase it to 14. Can increase this. We'll also do the same thing here. Merge and center, you increase it to 14. Good. So this one will be 20 should be the size. 20 is okay. Good. So we have our reports with expense. So we'll just increase it. Increase it. Good. So it's good to go. Good to go. Good to go. So we also have this column. We have this from this point to this point, everything you increase it to 12. We want it to be 12. Good. This 2 is 12. We want the size to be 12. So what we'll do, apply some formatting feature here. First of all, let's apply this to the column heading, fill color here. This fill color should be the same thing here, and here we'll have a dark green, right? Dark green. Good. Then a white font, so we can bold it if we so desire. The same thing, dark green and white font, same thing, dark green and white font. Good. So you can see we have the same feel of what we want to design. We are on track. We are on track. So let's make this, give it a formatting, a number formatting. And there we go, 2 decimal is okay. So we're leaving everything at 2 decimal places. So what we want to do is to create a name for this. We'll create a named range for this. This here, there is a formula in here, and delete this. And this too has a formula. This 2 section has a formula. We can delete it. Good. So we'll input formula into this section. Right. So the first thing I want us to do is to create a name for this. We'll create a name for this. So we'll just select this and give it a name. But before then, I want us to input this in a table. Let's input this in a table. So you just select, you either go to your Insert tab and click Table. Good. But I want to start from row 4. So I'll just adjust it and start from this point to this point, and there we go, row 4. So I'll change the table styles. I'm using this style. This is what the style I used. Then the same thing here, you can use your Ctrl+T to insert a table, but the range selected is not what I want. To start from row 4 downwards. Good. And you can click ensure that you tick my table has headers, then click OK. I'll also change the style to this one. Good. So here we go. We are good to go. We are good to go. making progress. So I want to give this a name, this particular column a name, so that I will use it to create data validation for create this section. So what I'll do, I'll just select it, give it a name, I'll say expense category. I'll leave it at that way. Good. So when after creating this named range, what you do here is just to select, ensure this particular cursor, the arrow downwards and very dark arrow downwards icon pops up. Then you select the entire column. Then you go to your data tab. What's your data tab? Under data validation, we want to insert data validation, the allow for list. Then the source should be the named range you just created. If you type F3, the name pops up and we have expense category. I just created this and OK. So you can see we have our drop down, right? So these are from the list we select. Good. Now, when it's a reimbursement, when money is being paid, because it's not an expense, we leave it blank and put it in the column of cash inflows. But if it's an expense, you select the expense category and put the amount in the column of cash outflow. All right. So that's it. So the next thing we want to do is to impute the formula here. And the first formula we want to impute is to get the balance of this particular cell. So you say equals to sum, just the sum of this, put comma, then minus if it's a cash outflow, then close it. And there we go. So we have 100, but I would like to change the formula here. So here will be more of sum of this particular amount, our previous cell, right? Select it. When you select it, then if it's comma, when this balance, the previous balance plus any inflow, if there is an inflow, so you add this comma, then if there's an outflow, minus the outflow. All right, then we'll close the brackets. I believe we're good to go. Good. So you can see we have 100. After that's the balance. When we made transaction expense of 3,500 minus 3,500, this is 96,500. 96,500 is the balance. When we made transaction of 1,500, 96,500 minus 1,500, we have 95,000. So you see it keeps giving you the balance. So now we want to give put a help. You can call this help or alert depending. And if you don't want this filter, all you need to do, just select it, go to the table design, and you just uncheck the filter button. That's having your data in a table is very good. It updates as you keep imputing data. The table keeps updating, and any formula you create from the table data updates automatically. All right, to make this bold for better visibility. So we have our formula in here. So what we want to do is we want an alert of enough fund to show if this balance is above 15,000, and when it is less than 15,000, you should just give us a signal so that we can call out for replenishment, right? So we'll be using the if function. If this balance is greater than 15,000, say enough, you have enough cash, right? Put it in parentheses. But if it is not, then you just put comma low cash. Just say comma, then low cash. Close the brackets. Good. So you see we have enough cash. So immediately it is less than that amount. You can see 15,000. If it's less than 15,000, it's low cash. But if it's greater than enough cash, right? So now what we're going to be doing is to give it a conditional formatting, in the sense that we want this enough cash to be green. and we want the low cash row, the red formatting. So you just select the entire range and you go to your home tab under the stars, click on this conditional formatting. So you say format text that contains, so for enough cash, you see immediately it's giving you the light red fill and dark, but that's not the formatting I want. I'll just look for a custom format, and the font should be like this dark green here. It's okay for me, and I just click OK. Good. So you can see the formatting is there. So also apply another conditional formatting that will give us a red if it's low. So you go and highlight cell rows, then a text that contains. So we have low cash, low cash, low cash, and we just want the red text. The red text, good. You can see the low cash is in red text. So we are done with this section. Everything is okay. We're moving on fine. So the next thing is to create our report. We want to get an updated report of each expense category as we make expenses, so that we'll know what line are we spending more, right? So this is where we use the sum ifs. I'll use the sum ifs. What range do we want to sum? We're summing this because it's more on expense. So this is the range. So what's the first criteria? This is the first criteria, which is the expense category. The expense category. And what's the criteria? This is the criteria, and close the bracket. Good. So you can see our report. I know because we are using an Excel table, that's why automatically it just fills down. That's one good advantage you have using Excel table. The spelling is wrong. Press good. So this is one of the advantages. Just input the formula into the first cell using structured referencing, and immediately it fills downwards. So as we keep updating, let's say we have a replenishment. Now, for you to ask for replenishment, you need to check. We have 9,930. So what amount do I need to request to take it back to 100,000? Right. And that will be the total expenses you've made thus far. That is 90,070, right? If I'm not mistaken, that should be 90,070. So let's say on the 10th or on the 12th, let's say on the 12th of March, this is just for the purpose of illustration. So we make reimbursement, replenishment. You can say reimbursement to the holder. Mind you, if it's reimbursement, it's not an expense, so you leave here blank and you put in the money. So the total amount, we want to take it back to 100 because this is an Imprest system. So at each point you request money and money is added, it goes back, your balance should go back to 100,000 because that is the float you have to maintain per time. That's the highest balance you have to maintain per time. So our total amount we are requesting for is 90. The total expenses we've made us for 90,070 naira. 90,070 naira. Good. So you can see. So it goes back to 100,000. We have enough cash and we can go ahead to make expenses. So as you keep making the expenses, here all the category of expenses will be updating. And this will help you to like know how much have we spent thus far in this particular line in this part. So I just put it 650,000 for illustration purpose. Our rule says we don't make any expense beyond 10,000, just for you to know how this alert column works and how to make replenish to ask for fund when you've reached low cash point, right? So that is how you go about designing an Impress and Petty expense tracker in Excel. I believe this will help you if you keep Impress. And if you don't keep Impress, I think it's something you need to start doing in your business because it will be so unprofessional to always go to the bank and you're looking for money to buy fuel for your generator or to get paid your light bills. Some little expense you know that the office needs in order to run on a daily basis. There's need for you to maintain an Impress system in order to run that smoothly, right? So this brings us to the end of this training. If you want the completed version of this, please just comment, drop your email in the comment section, and also drop your feedback in the comment section. I will send it right into your inbox. And don't forget to share this video and give this video a thumb up, and do subscribe to this channel for more value tips. I'll see you in the next training. Bye for now.